the opening scene to Move Over Darling is easily one of my favourite ever. It's absolutely fantastic, and Doris Day is not even in that scene. This is, of course, a Doris Day film, and it also stars James Garner and Polly Bergen, and directed by Michael Gordon, screenplay by Jack Sher and Hal Kanter, released in 1963. And I hadn't actually heard of this film until I discovered and fell in love with Doris Day's works. But it's pretty well received. It's got 7 out of 10 on IMDb, over 5,000 reviews. And really, from the first scene, it's absolutely fantastic. So, I'll read the description from IMDb, which I think sums it up pretty well. After having been lost at sea for several years, a missing wife thought long dead returns just after her husband has remarried. So in this first scene, I think the first scene sets it up perfectly. The husband, Nicholas Arden, played by James Garner, is in a courtroom to get his wife, Ellen Arden, declared legally dead. It's been 5 years, but it's about time that she's declared legally dead so he can move on. And that is passed. She is declared legally dead, and then 2 minutes later, in the same courtroom, he marries Bianca, played by Polly Bergen. And obviously that's going to be a little chaotic because Ellen, his first wife, is about to turn up. And Bianca's not aware of this, and Nicholas has to try and balance these two wives. And there is absolutely no real inclination of, there's no idea of where this film is going. It's completely impossible to tell what direction it's going to take, and that's something I liked, because obviously I was Team Ellen, Doris Day, completely wanted her life to get back on track. I should also point out this is a comedy, very, very funny comedy, very successful comedy. It's not full of grief and sorrow and mental confusion of having been living on a random island for 5 years. It's a comedy. It's quite ridiculous in the sense that, for the most part, it's not going to actually work. It's not realistic. It's not that believable. There's a lot about it that, if this were a real story, wouldn't pan out quite the way it does. But who cares? Because this film is for pure entertainment, and that's exactly what is delivered. Doris Day's performance is, as always, absolutely amazing. 2 other standouts for me, I thought, were Thelma Ritter, she plays Grace Arden, who is Nicholas's mother. And I also liked Edgar Buchanan, who played Judge Bryson. The character of the judge just does not care. He has a great personality, and of course he's in that opening scene that I absolutely adored. It's brilliant. I also love courtroom dramas, so for me that just brought everything together. The score is brilliant. The soundtrack is amazing. And I have to say, it just really utilises both sound effects and a really lovely soundtrack. Some beautiful music. Doris Day's voice, we get the benefit of it several times in the film. That is something... That's something that I absolutely love, and it just made it all the better. I can't fault this at all. I truly love it. Is it my favourite Doris Day film? No. Because, for me, that's Calamity Jane, and always will be. But this film is definitely in the top 10. Absolutely love it. If you love Doris Day and haven't seen this, please watch it. If you are not familiar with Doris Day's works, this is a pretty great example. From start to finish, couldn't take my eyes away. It's about 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it was over in the blink of an eye. Move Over Darling is fantastic.